Brought out the 10 Hello Kitty just to make this video. Smuggle bricks to China. Hello everyone and welcome to the Strawberry Lily channel. Today is the day of reckoning that I've been waiting for ever since I started a beauty makeup channel, okay? No, I'm kidding. But seriously though, the Colourpop and Hello Kitty collaboration extraordinaire, it's finally here. This is not the first time that Colourpop has done a Hello Kitty collaboration, but I believe it is the first like mini 4-pan multi-palette collaboration that they've done for Hello Kitty, similar in vein to the Animal Crossing collection that came out earlier this year, which I never got around to doing a full review on. I apologize for that, but I did play with the Animal Crossing palettes individually off camera, and I have to say that it was a really solid collection. I actually think that it does deserve all the hype that it got, even if you're not an Animal Crossing fan per se. It was just super cute and well executed. Honestly, I would not be mad at Colourpop if they continued with this format for future collaborations, especially ones that involve cute characters like Hello Kitty or Pokemon, whatever, with the different 4-pan variations. I think that that way they can make sure there's a little bit of something for everyone. So if you're a mega fan and you want to collect all the items, you can do that. But on the flip side, you can also just pick out the one item or palette that speaks to you the most and leave the rest. So I think in that sense, it's a great way for Colourpop to cater to the different needs and wants of individual consumers. So the official name of this collection is called Hello Kitty Tropical Escape Collection, which is very fitting for summer and kind of like exactly what I need right now. Am I right? Anyone with me here? Honestly, okay, I'm fighting the urge to sing The Great Escape by Gwen Stefani right now, but unfortunately, you know, we don't support Gwen Stefani on this channel, okay? We cannot support her for reasons that, well, frankly, you should know if you watch my channel, so I don't think any explanation is needed there. Anyway, I originally wanted to get the full collection, which consists of 4 eyeshadow palettes, 2 blush pans, 3 lipsticks, and a lip scrub. And then you get extra bonus little stickers or something too, which I actually also really wanted. Tell me why though, for some reason when I went to check out my cart, a notification pops up informing me that they cannot ship the lip products to Japan, even though Hello Kitty is a Japanese character. Tell me why. Make it make sense. Is it because she is not fully vaccinated yet? Like, is that what's holding things up? She doesn't have full clearance to travel? Because I tried to schedule my Pfizer vaccination the other day. The website would not cooperate with me. Like, it said that there's too many requests going on at this time, so they don't have any more openings at the moment in the vaccination centers in my city. So I eventually just gave up for now. I'm gonna try again later. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Miss White is going through the same sort of thing over there in LA or wherever Colourpop fulfills their orders. Miss White, by the way, is Hello Kitty herself. For those of you who don't know, that is actually her last name. So her full legal name would be Kitty White, which is what is printed on her passport. Just a little lesson there in kawaii culture for you guys today. Can we just, I will get to the makeup, I promise, but can we just establish something really quickly? This channel, Strawberry Loli, is not a kawaii culture 101 course, okay? This is advanced kawaii culture over here. Dissertation thesis writing type of class. You see, there's levels to this shit, okay? So I'm not trying to start drama or anything. I just think it's interesting with this collaboration in particular, being an American company doing a collaboration with a Japanese character. I've noticed that there's a lot of people on this platform who uploaded their little reviews on this collection who seem to think that they are so cultured, okay, so steeped in this culture of kawaii, just because they stan Hello Kitty. And I'm like, baby. Hello Kitty is a prerequisite. Do you understand? Like, what are you talking about? Hello Kitty, Sailor Moon, Pikachu, or Pokemon, Snoopy, even though Peanuts is technically an American comic. But Snoopy has been granted the Japanese kawaii seal of approval long ago, like decades ago. Snoopy might as well be Japanese if I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, just considering the sheer amount of Peanuts merch that is produced under the Japanese licensing for the comic. every year. What else? Rilakuma, who I am not personally a fan of. I'm not really that into bears, but he's in the club. You can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. Okay, so all of these that I just listed, plus many more actually, these are all foundational kawaii 101 characters that, like, you don't get brownie points for knowing who these characters are. In fact, some of you don't even know all of the characters that I just mentioned, in which case you don't even get to pass Kawaii 101. Like, you gotta repeat the class, boo. When you get to the point where you stand in line for 4 hours at the crack of dawn to spend your money on limited edition Nick Wilde merch, okay? See this? Nick Wilde merchandise, not Zootopia merch. Only Nick, alright? Because Nick is the most popular in Japan. When you find the one obscure UFO catcher game that has this chibi plush Hide cell phone strap thingy. Hide from X Japan, this is his likeness. Not regular Hide, okay? Chibi Hide. It's different. When you stand there in front of this obscure UFO catcher game in some dark, dangerous alleyway in Akihabara, and you stand there and you spend every last spare change in your wallet in order to obtain this rare kawaii chibi doll to put on your kawaii ass purse. This is vintage Samantha Tavasa, by the way. You can't get this anymore, okay? Vintage kawaii. When you start doing assignments like that, then you can come talk to me. Then you can apply for the advanced class over here on the Strawberry Loli channel. Until then, know your place. Okay, I just had to get that off my chest. Back to the Tropical Escape collection. So straight away, when you look at the imagery for this collection, it is just so bright and juicy. I found myself craving like literal fruit juice throughout the entire filming of this collection, because pretty much every single item here has to do with some sort of fruit theme. And of course, just the vibrant neon tropical colors really help drive the point home as well. Tropical Escape is truly the perfect concept and name for this collection, I feel. Today I'm going to be showing you 4 different monochromatic looks, including this one, that I did with each respective 4-pan palette. I just wanted to keep it as straightforward as possible and use it in a realistic way. So for example, I probably won't find myself too often in real life trying to combine colors from 3 different quads to create a look. I would, in all probability, just pick whatever color theme I'm gravitating towards at the moment and go with that one singular quad for a monochromatic look. So before I jump into the eyeshadow application, I just wanted to introduce the blushes really quickly first, since I'm going to be using those with each look. So we have 2 blushes in this collection which are both very neon and very matte. Aloha Honey, which is described as a matte neon coral, and Island Shine, which Colourpop says is a matte neon fuchsia. I wouldn't call this one a fuchsia necessarily. To me, this is just a classic Barbie pink shade. And these of course have the adorable Hello Kitty face and bow imprinted in the actual powder. There's also one matte shade in each of the eyeshadow palettes that has some sort of fruit design embossed. This is something that I actually noticed they didn't do for the Animal Crossing eyeshadow quads, so this is a level up as far as I'm concerned in cuteness factor. The one thing I will say though is that they disappeared so quickly, it seems. I felt like by the time I was done with my arm swatches, half of all the cute little imprints in the pans had already like been erased just by my swatches alone, which obviously can't be helped because that's the whole point. You're supposed to use up the product, but I wasn't ready for them to leave so early, okay? It doesn't make it any less painful. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into the 4 eyeshadow looks. So we're starting off with the bluish aquamarine themed palette, which is called Cocoa Cutie. Very, very vibrant and tropical. I don't know if you can see, but a huge chunk of the cobalt blue shade down here called Hang 10 actually fell out. I have no idea what happened. So you do have to be kind of careful when handling these. This is a pretty soft formula overall. Yeah, I'm kind of sad about that, but it's not the end of the world. It's just a small chunk, and realistically I'm not going to be using this shade that often anyways, so it's not that huge of a sacrifice. Okay, so I'm just going to apply my Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer. I'm going to be using this primer for all 4 looks. I'm just going to do a simple color gradient type of look, like fading from blue to turquoise, because this is such a vibrant collection of colors, you know, very deep and jewel toned. I don't want to do anything too crazy that might overwhelm my smaller, delicate eyes. So I'm going in with Lovely Luau, and I'm just like tapping that all over the lid and bringing it down onto the outer half of my bottom lid area as well. And I'm just gonna blow that out until it's really, really diffused and faded out on the edges. And wow, you really only need one tap of your brush into this pan, and it's gonna give you the most intense color payoff, which can be a good or bad thing depending on what you're looking for, but it's blending out pretty nicely. Okay, now that we have our base laid down, I'm gonna go in with this matte cobalt blue shade, Hang 10. I'm trying to hold it like this because this pan is kind of crumbling on me, but yeah, this is just a very vibrant cobalt blue. It's not a pure matte, it has like a few subtle sparkles throughout, and I'm just sweeping this all over the bottom half of my lid, concentrating the color more intensely the closer I get to my lash line. I'm just going back in with a tiny bit of Lovely Luau. I have to remember to tap off the excess for this one because it's so intense. But I just want to go back into like the outer edges here and blend a little bit more to make all the harsh lines disappear. Okay, now we're gonna dot some of this Bay Breeze shimmer shade onto the center of the top lid. And yeah, kind of take that straight up and down, I guess. I was hoping that this shade would be a little lighter and more reflective than the Hang 10 shade, but so far it really looks like it's just a shimmer version of the Hang 10 shade, which is fine, but just letting you know. Okay, and finally let's go in with Shaved Ice, which is this shimmery turquoise right here, and I'm gonna pop that in the inner corner, bring it down into the inner third of my lower eyelid. Okay, so I went off camera to put on my lashes and eyeliner and stuff, and yes, as you can see, I really went there with the bold red lip. Honestly, I have no idea what pairs well with blue eyeshadow in terms of lipstick. I mean, nudes, of course, but seeing just how completely pigmented and bold this eye look came out, I thought to myself, why not go there and just go ahead and get your full drag queen rock star aesthetic on, alright? So that's what we ended up with here using the Cocoa Cutie palette. I'm gonna be honest, I was a little bit worried, like pretty much up until the very end, that this was just gonna come out looking like one shade on my eyes, which is not a critique of this palette, by the way. I think it's just like the universal struggle of monochromatic themed eyeshadow palettes. There's only so much like contrast and depth that you can achieve with a bunch of different shades of the same color. So I actually think that for this palette in particular, they made a good call by going with two shades that were more of a classic cobalt blue and then two that were more of an aquamarine turquoise blue. I think if you look closely, you can definitely differentiate between those two families of blue on my eyes. But I also think that even within the two different pairings, the fact that the shimmer shades ended up being so subtle and like not that shiny at all, to be honest with you, it did make it pretty tricky for me to try to create that contrast of light and dark, or at least shimmer versus matte textures. But I think that was kind of the purpose of this whole collection to begin with. Like, you'll see a common theme throughout all the palettes, that the shimmer shades are actually much more on the subtle and muted side, which, you know what, I'm gonna get into that later at the end of this video when I give you the final summary of my thoughts on this collection. So I'll just stop talking for now. Anyway, here's the blue palette look. I had to find like the longest, craziest pair of eyelashes that I own at the moment. These are from MAC. These are actually from the MAC Cruella collection. I think it's called Supermodel lashes or something. And yeah, I feel kind of crazy. But yeah, I feel like with the inherent intenseness of this blue eyeshadow look, it kind of balances out the craziness of the lashes as well. I definitely feel like some sort of sea creature that resides in like the Caribbean waters. It's like that fishman thing in the movie Shape of Water, if any of you have ever seen that movie. That's what this is giving me right now. I feel like he would appreciate this makeup. Oh yeah, and I decided not to add any blush to this look because I feel like between the blue Hawaii eyeshadow and the Fire Engine Red lipstick, I have enough bold color on my face right now. So we just added a little bit of highlight and this is the finished look. Alright, so for the second look, we are going in with the yellow palette, which is called Pineapple Cake. That is seriously my favorite name of any palette ever, I think. Colourpop did the damn thing with that name. I can't even front. Do you remember those, by the way? I mean, not that they ever went anywhere. You can still get pineapple cake. But I just know that for me, that was such a childhood snack staple. Oh my god, it brings back so many good memories. I want a pineapple cake right now. Okay, so for this look, I just decided to go with a simple halo eye or spotlight eye. I'm taking this shade To the Core, which is just like a matte banana yellow shade all over the lid and on the outer half of my lower eyelid as well, leaving a little bit of space in the center of my top lid because we're going to cover that area with some shimmer later on. Then I'm just going ahead and deepening up the outer and inner corners with the deeper mustard looking matte shade called So Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna grab La Pina with a flat brush, pack that all over the center of my lid. See, this palette, I feel like the shimmers are noticeably brighter and they really like pop out against the mattes, even though every shade is pretty much all within that same banana yellow family. Yeah, this shimmer is actually contrasting really well with the matte shadows in this quad. It's a much more noticeable contrast than the shades in the blue palette. And you can see like it truly is still keeping with the monotone theme because it's not necessarily a gold shimmer. It's very clearly a yellow based shimmer. But when you lay it on top of the matte yellow shades, it really, really stands out. That's all I am really asking for from a monochromatic palette at the end of the day, is that you can see clearly the differences and the, you know, lines of demarcation between not only the shades but also the different textures. I think when all of those elements work together in harmony, that's what's going to give you a really bomb monochromatic eye look. Okay, then I'm going to dip into Sandy, which is a much more cool toned metallic yellow shade, almost iridescent, and I'm just going to pack that onto my inner corner to round out this look. Okay, before I pop on lashes and eyeliner, I'm just gonna draw in some of Colourpop's cream gel liner in Extra Frosting. And this is just a really, really pale, almost beige yellow. Yeah, that doesn't even look yellow when you actually apply it onto your skin. It's more like flesh toned, but I just wanted to add that in there to make my waterline pop. For blush, we are going in with Aloha Honey, which is the more coral leaning blush of the two. Alright, next up is the orange tangerine looking palette, Teeny Keeny. Super cute name. Once again, this is the only palette that I attempted a cut crease with today. Well, kind of like a half cut crease. To be honest, I'm not sure I did the greatest job. I'll let you guys be the judge of that when I'm done here, but yeah, anyway, so I'm first going in with the matte orange shade Hula Hoop, just a orange, like fruit orange shade. Taking that all the way across the upper half of my eyelid and bringing it quite high up. Then I'm just deepening the outer edge with Itsy Bitsy. Oh, I really like the blood orange vibes of this shade. It's making me crave a blood orange juice drink right now too, to be honest with you. Alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and create that cut crease. I squeezed a little bit of my eye primer on the back of my hand, and I'm really just taking the tiniest bit. You don't want to add any thickness or bulkiness. You really just want to apply enough so that it, you know, carves out the shape for you. But other than that, we want to keep it thin and unobtrusive. And if you'll notice, I'm keeping my eyes wide open for this part. I want my cut crease to be visible even when I have my eyes open in their natural state. Alright, then I'm going in with a smaller detail brush with the shade Beachy, and I'm just going to pack that onto as I work my way in. I'm gonna start adding in Sandcastle at like the halfway mark of my lid to create a nice pretty gradient effect with the shimmers. Alright, so I just replicated that cut crease on my left eye, and now we're ready to add lashes and eyeliner. Okay guys, so this is the fourth look. Finally, we made it. I'm going to be diving into the pink palette, which is called Cherry Sweet. For this look, I'm going to attempt a little more of a graphic or like avant-garde type of design. I'm not sure exactly how it's gonna go, but we're gonna keep it simple, so it should be fine. Okay, eyes are primed, and we're gonna start off with this corally peachy type of pink down here in the corner called Yummy. Tap off the excess, and I'm going to just sweep this lightly across my entire lid. I'm not going to worry too much about the shape because that's going to be taken care of later by the design that I'm about to do. And then just taking a smaller detail brush to bring that down onto the lower lash line as well, and I'm gonna keep this area blank. I'm gonna keep the color concentrated on the outer V here. There we go. So I think we have a good base laid down. Now I'm going in with Hibiscus, this metallic baby pink up here. Very Y2K color. I'm gonna stamp that all down, straight down the center of my lids. Yeah, so far all the shimmers in this palette, I'm really liking this buttery smooth texture. Even though I think some of them, like the shimmers in the blue palette for example, could stand to be a little bit more metallic and reflective, it's still a very pretty finish at the end of the day. And you know what? I'm gonna take this down onto my lower lash line as well. Alright, now here comes the moment of truth. This is the fun part. Well, hopefully it is, if it comes out looking good. I want to do just like a simple little bracket design on the inner and outer corners of my eyes. I think I should just do it instead of trying to explain. But yeah, I see this type of technique done a lot on monolids or like Asian type eyelids. Shuamura artists in particular is what is coming to mind. I feel like they employ this style of avant-garde, you know, graphic eyeshadow placement quite often, especially on their models that have more of a classic flatter Asian eyelid. I'm dipping into this fuchsia pink on the bottom here, Soda Crush. Look at that cute little cherry imprint. This one is still intact. I'm switching to a smaller brush for the left side because I feel like I couldn't quite get as sharp of a line as I wanted with this brush. That has everything to do with the brush choice and my lack of technique, not the eyeshadow. There we go. I think this side looks much better and sharper. Okay, so taking the same tiny detail brush, I'm going in with Hibiscus, which is this hot pink shimmer, and I'm just gonna dot that on like the center points of the little angular bracket design that I just did, just to give it a little bit of a iridescent shift. I don't know if you can really see that through the camera, but this pink has that really nice blue base that I like. I think it might even have, yeah, I think there's like really finely milled blue or purple glitters in here even, so that's what gives it kind of that cool bluish shift. Personally, I actually really love it when they do that with hot pinks. I think hot pink and a metallic blue shift are just the perfect neon fantasy combo. Okay, let me pop my lashes on. I'll be right back. So my eyes are done. I'm actually really pleased with the way that this look turned out. I'm relieved because I didn't know how it was gonna go. For my lips, I have on just this drugstore Rimmel Lasting Finish Oil Tint Lip in 009. It's just this really nice glossy nudie color with kind of like a warmish, almost pinkish undertone. So I thought that it would go well with this particular eyeshadow look. Okay, let me pop on some blush. So this time we are going in with Island Shine, which is the Barbie pink shade. And it has that cute little Hello Kitty bow imprinted on the pan. I love it when things are like just her bow. Does anyone else feel the same way? I feel like her bow is almost as iconic as Hello Kitty herself. Well, okay. So again, I went in a little too overzealous. You really only need like one singular tap like that on the pan, and that's enough for both cheeks. Be very, very careful with this blush. I have a feeling that this is the way that all Colourpop powder blushes are, or at least their matte formulas. Yeah, if you're not careful about your initial placement, the bulk of the pigment could just stick to that one place and be really patchy no matter how much you blend it out. But I think I managed to save this one though. What do you guys think? Okay, I think this look actually is really cute overall. So here's the final fourth eye look with the Cherry Sweet Pink palette. So I hope you enjoyed those 4 looks as much as I had fun creating them. Do you want to know what my favorite look was? Well, actually it's a tie. So obviously I knew that I was gonna like the pink palette a lot just because I'm on such a pink kick lately. Any and every shade of pink, like I just want to wear them all at the same time on my body, on my face, on my hair. But I also surprisingly really took to the blue and turquoise palette. This one, Cocoa Cutie. This color scheme paired with a bold red lip is everything to me. I just got like such rock star badass vibes from myself, if I do say so myself, even though it's the Tropical Escape collection and everything. So they probably meant for it to evoke more of a Caribbean paradise water type of theme. But for me personally, it's giving rockstar all day. I don't know, I think it's because maybe the particular undertones of the blues here just happen to be like more flattering on my actual skin tone than I was expecting. Yeah, I'm shook. I did not really know what to expect with this one. I did the blue look first actually because I was sure that not that I was gonna like it the least out of the 4 palettes, but just the fact that I don't have any occasion or urge to necessarily wear blue eyeshadow that often. So I went into this with the mindset that, okay, I'm just gonna do the blue palette first to get it out of the way because I'm not gonna wear that anyway on a daily basis, which might change honestly starting from today just because I really liked the way I looked in this plus the bold red lip. So yeah, that was definitely a pleasant, unexpected surprise. As far as final thoughts on formulas and performance and everything, I thought that this was overall a very straightforward, what you see is what you get type of makeup collection. So first off, the shades and finishes, they show up pretty much exactly the same shade on your skin as they are in the pan. Yeah, pretty much across the board for all the different color variations. The formula is a little bit on the softer side overall, but it's very consistent throughout not only all the colors but also the different textures. So both the shimmers and mattes, I found it to be very soft and buttery, and I want to say that they are like a little bit more loosely packed even than a lot of other Colourpop eyeshadows that we may be used to. So I actually don't have that much experience with Colourpop eyeshadows outside of the 9-pan palettes, which I own a few of. But yeah, even just compared with the 9-pans that I owned, these are definitely have a softer, more buttery overall feel and are a lot more loosely packed. And by the way, these are also technically classified as pressed powder palettes. not eyeshadows, but I think that's true for a lot of Colourpop palettes, so I'm not sure if that has any bearing on the formula this time. But my point being, it is a very like buttery soft overall formula. For that reason, I actually found it to be pretty easy and intuitive to work with across the board. It actually almost gives me like indies makeup brand eyeshadow vibes, like Western independent brands. I'm thinking in particular of Lethal Cosmetics and Give Me Glow Cosmetics. Yeah, I said it. I compared Colourpop to the new cult favorites. But honestly though, I really do think that these the eyeshadow formulas in this particular collection, it really resembles the formulas of those indies brands that are really well known for having like super pigmented and saturated and easily blendable eyeshadows. As far as blendability, I wouldn't say that this was like the most easily blendable formula. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate it maybe like a 7 or 8, because I did kind of have to take my brush back and forth quite a few times, especially for some of the matte shades. But I think that that's par for the course even for the most highly praised eyeshadows. Like, I haven't personally come across an eyeshadow formula yet where I would give a 10 out of 10 rating for the blendability. All of them, especially matte shades, are typically going to require some effort and technique on your part to buff it out and blend together seamlessly with other shades. Plus, it also depends on other factors such as the actual eyeshadow primer that you use or the bristles on your brushes. It's just a lot of factors to take into account when you're having the blending conversation, not just the eyeshadow formula. But yeah, overall the eyeshadows were just very like intuitive, easy to work with. Like I said, it was a little more of a loosely packed formula than I'm used to seeing from Colourpop, so it had this interesting thing where it was like every single shade, it is super pigmented and super like drenched in color, but at the same time, like once you start to blend it, you might find yourself having to layer on 2 or 3 layers in order to get the intensity that you want, which is not a problem for me because it is, you are able to build the colors up. I actually prefer that. Like for me, that's actually perfect. I prefer a more buildable formula. As you guys know, it just gives you way more flexibility. There was a lot of kickback in the pans due to the soft nature of the formula, but interestingly enough, I actually didn't experience that much fallout when I was actually applying the shadows onto my eyes. I don't know if that is more thanks to my eyeshadow primer or maybe the fact that like this time I really took care to tap off the excess before I applied it to my lids, but I was really happy to find out that there was actually minimal fallout. For the most part, it stayed put wherever I placed it, so that was excellent. It's just one less thing I have to worry about. So I touched on this a little bit earlier on during my first look as well, but I just want to reiterate that I think it was a really genius move of Colourpop this time around to opt out of including any of their pressed glitters and instead go for a classic shimmer or metallic formula. Although this obviously means a sacrifice in the sense that like you're not going to get that high shine, reflective, blinding glitter quality, but I think for a lot of people who may not be such huge fans of Colourpop's pressed glitter formula to begin with, including myself, it's just a little bit too chunky for my taste. It looks really pretty when swatched and everything, but I just don't think it's suitable for my eyes in particular. So yeah, for people like me, it's kind of like a welcome change that they decided to substitute out their usual pressed glitter in favor of these more subdued classic shimmer shades. Plus, it has the added bonus of making every single shade in every palette in this collection basically able to stand on its own. Like you could take any eyeshadow from this collection and use it as an all-over lid color. Any of them can be used by themselves or in combination with other colors. So yeah, I think there was just really great, you know, execution and decision making overall with this collaboration. Oh, and also I almost forgot, but I feel like there's some sort of sweet scent that they infused in this formula. I don't know if it's an intentional scent or not. I don't know if it's an intentional scent or it's just the chemicals and ingredients happen to smell this way. It seems like they were trying to go for some type of a scent there. It's like an artificial soda smell. Like, you know how they have those soda or Coke flavored gummy candies? That's what this is giving me. But I could be imagining things. It could just be the chemicals mixed together. It does smell sweeter though than a regular Colourpop palette. Yeah, I'm gonna try to look up information on that later if they say anything about the scent in the description. So for the blushes, I'm actually surprised. I ended up liking these more than I thought. I mean, I didn't expect to go into this not liking the blushes, but I just wasn't sure how wearable or flattering these particular shades would be against my skin tone. I was afraid to look like a clown, basically. I feel like Colourpop blushes, at least for like their matte powder blushes, I don't know about their new cream or serum formulas, which I'm actually kind of interested in, but like I'm sure that those are a different ball game. As far as the classic powder blushes go, is it just me, or does it seem like there's little to no difference between their blush formula and their eyeshadow formulas? Like, I feel as though their blushes are low-key just huge enlarged eyeshadow pans, because the pigmentation is strong enough that it might as well be considered an eyeshadow. And in fact, if you were to judge this by Asian makeup standards, this would pretty much qualify as an eyeshadow. That's just an observation. It's not really a criticism. I just think it's kind of funny. Surprisingly though, if you're really careful to go in with literally only one tap like I did for my looks today, it actually does sheer out pretty nicely. So it's like the color, the pigment is definitely there, but it does still leave room for your natural skin color to shine through. And that effect, I found that I actually really enjoyed. You know, maybe not for every single day, but it is quite charming, I think. It's a very doll-like effect, I'll say. For those days where you want to make it obvious that you're wearing blush, but you don't necessarily want to veer completely into clown territory, you know, I think I'm going to be reaching for these quite a bit, actually. Especially when I have a more neutral eye look on, I think it would be a great chance to let the blush be a little more dramatic on that day.
Wow, not me almost exporting this video without talking about the one product that I was low-key the most excited for from this collection, and that would be the Pineapple Pop Lippy Scrub. I just haven't owned a lip scrub in a while, so I'm excited to have one that's just so cute. I used to use Lush's lip scrub in Mint Tulip or Mint Julep religiously until I think one day I was just like, okay, I can't keep dropping 1,200 yen on replacement jars of lip scrubs alone. But like, I don't know, maybe I do need to factor this product into my budget because my lips are constantly peeling off with the amount of makeup that I try on. Plus, it's exacerbated these days by the whole mask situation. But yeah, so this is the first lip scrub or like first skincare type of product period that I've ever tried from Colourpop. It comes in this adorable yellow packaging with a winking Hello Kitty on the lid. The jar is a frosted, not glass, I think it's frosted plastic actually, but the frosted aspect, nevertheless, it just adds a really nice classy touch. As the name suggests, this is just a sweet artificial pineapple flavor, nothing too strong or overbearing. I do think there's a slight bit of coconut mixed in there as well, not 100% sure on that. And the texture is actually not what I expected for a lip scrub. It's more of a syrupy texture as opposed to like Lush, for example. You know how their lip scrub formula is really gritty and grainy. This one does have the grainy sugar bits in there. You can definitely feel it scratching against your lips, but the overall base is very sticky and syrupy. So to be honest, both the flavor and texture are not really my favorite. Plus, I feel like it doesn't completely wash off. Like, it leaves a slight oily film residue on my fingers when I try to wash it, so I'm not too crazy about that. It's fine, like it's tolerable to me, so I don't anticipate any problems making myself use this up. But if this is indicative of Colourpop's usual lip scrub formula, I don't think I'll be picking up another one from them just because I do prefer a grittier texture. And yeah, the pineapple flavor, like usually I am a fan of pineapple, but this particular version of it just doesn't hit quite right. Anyway, there you have it. That's a 6 or 7 out of 10 stars for the Lippy Scrub.
Okay, so if you made it all the way to the end of this review, thank you so much. Okay, I really appreciate you being here. We gotta have something to denote the people that like watched this entire video through and didn't just skip around. Not that there's any problem with skipping around, you know. I know that everyone is busy and I'll put my timestamps up and everything for you guys, but for the ride or dies who actually sat down and watched this entire video though, I want you to put a bow emoji in the comments. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so that concludes my Colourpop and Hello Kitty Tropical Escape collection review. I know this was a long one and I'm sure I repeated myself a bunch of times, but I just really wanted to do this collection justice. Hello, I gotta represent, you know, I live in Japan. My channel name is Strawberry Loli and we're sweet and savage over here, so not to gatekeep or anything, but like maybe I was low-key gatekeeping a little bit in this video or whatever.
You can't sit with us!
it's a matter of respect at the end of the day, okay? You guys understand. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you guys with this. As always, please let me know any comments, questions, concerns that you may have in the comments, or if you want to just drop by to say hi, you can do that as well, of course. Love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Oh my god. Is that a tail? I never knew that Hello Kitty had a tail. Look, it's in this one too. That looks so off to me. Okay, I'm not even kidding right now. Like, I swear I never noticed that she had a tail. I knew that she didn't have a mouth. I mean, she does have a mouth. That's a common misunderstanding, and it's a technicality issue that I won't get into, but yeah, like, Hello Kitty does have a mouth. It's just not drawn for us to see. Yeah, I assumed that the same was true for her tail, but apparently not. Like, apparently she does have tails in every single one of these illustrations here. This is low-key freaking me out. Does that not look weird? Like, doesn't that look off? Like it's counterfeit or something? This is some Mandela effect shit going on right here.